great Odin's raven.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast. This is episode number 59. My name is Adam. Today I'm joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing okay.
We're also joined by Film Pulse contributor Gina Kelly. How are you, Gina?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. How are you?
How's it feel to be on for the first time on the show? Is it exciting?
I feel kind of exposed, to be honest.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
You should feel excited.
Oh, that's how I feel.
That's how Kevin feels all the time, even when he's not recording.
Yeah.
Exposed and vulnerable?
Yes.
Yep. Today we got two interviews lined up. First, we'll be speaking with Robert Mockler, the director of our Kickstart Sunday project this week, Like Me. Then we'll be having a chat with director Quentin Dupieux on his new film, Wrong, which is currently playing on video on demand and hitting theaters this Friday. And as if that wasn't enough, we'll be doing a feature review on Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers. And finally, we'll be going over this week's movie predictions and DVD and Blu Ray releases. Let's go ahead and dive right into our first interview with Robert Mockler and have him tell us about Like Me, which is currently getting its funding on Indiegogo. All right, well, let's get started by just telling us a little bit about the project and what the movie's going to be about.
The film's going to be about a young woman who tries to become a celebrity by documenting a string of robberies through social media. That's sort of our log line. And it's really about how far some of us will go to attain fame and recognition on the internet. And our main character, Kaya, is sort of a Frankenstein's monster of pop culture, internet trends, and youthful ignorance. So she commits these robberies and records them. And she puts them on the internet and to gain attention, and people love it. She uses everything's about her as sort of a facade. She uses fake guns to commit the robberies, and sort of her followers and they push her to commit more extreme acts of mischief until things spiral out of control.
And this is going to be was it a 25-minute short? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, roughly 25 minutes.
And one of the things that drew me in to this project, and I will say this is our first Indiegogo project that we've backed on the site. So
awesome.
Maybe we can talk about the differences in just a second for people that don't know. But the thing that really kind of drew me into this project was just the look of your little teaser trailer that you have on the Indiegogo page. Mm-hmm. How are you shooting this movie?
In terms of like what camera or
yeah.
We got a hold of a Red Scarlet.
Okay.
Which is sort of like entry level into the Red cameras. And we used a Canon mount, so we sort of used photo still lenses to shoot the film. And the Red camera really gives you big flexibility in the color grade, so we can do sort of extreme things with the colors in the film. And that'll sort of come into play, at least in concept. That's the idea right now, is that when she commits her robberies, we're going to push the colors to the extreme, almost make them look like an Instagram filter. So yeah, that's our primary workhorse.
I think that looks great. So let's talk about Indiegogo. We many times have talked about Kickstarter, and the big difference between the two, if I'm not mistaken, is with Indiegogo, you guys get everything that gets donated to you, regardless if you make your goal or not.
Yeah.
So the big question that I have, and I'm sorry that you're just the first Indiegogo project that we've talked to, is what if you get like maybe half of your goal? Mm-hmm. Like, where do you go from there?
I mean, we're going to make the film like regardless. Like we'll make it happen.
Okay.
Ideally, we want to reach the goal, and that'll allow us to make the film that we want to make. And it'll sort of make our jobs a little easier. But I mean, I started as a guerrilla filmmaker, and I'm used to stealing shots and getting in and out of locations quickly. I'd prefer not to have to do that with this one. Sometimes you have to negotiate with store owners allowing us to use their locations, and they'll only give you so much time. for free anyway. So having to shoot a scene in 2 hours is a really difficult thing to do. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we're hoping to get is enough money to pay for locations.
Why don't we go over some of the incentives that you have going on with the project?
Sure. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess we have, you could purchase a copy of the film. There's a special thanks in the credits. You can be an executive producer. One of sort of the more intriguing perks is that you can have a candlelit dinner with our character. You can own a piece of the film. We'll give you a prop, like the mask that you see in the robbery, that sort of leather respirator, and whatnot.
Gina, did you have a question?
Oh, I just was throwing in a little joke. That's all. You can continue. I was wondering if she could rob us during this dinner. Would it be part of the experience?
Perhaps. Yeah, that could definitely be part of the experience.
Yeah, you could record it and put it on YouTube. And
yes.
Now, right before we did this interview, Kevin mentioned something about how I think with this you have a lot of good opportunities for some viral marketing for this movie.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing stuff like that?
No, we have, and there's 38 days left of our campaign, and we're going to be doing some stuff eventually.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question here?
Sure.
Because with Indiegogo, you can actually choose, right? If you want it to be more like a Kickstarter campaign where there's the emergency kind of level you need to hit, or if you want to collect.
Yeah, there's a flexible funding option, which is what we've chosen, which means we get everything no matter whether or not we meet the goal. And then there's the fixed funding option where it's exactly like Kickstarter. If you get funded, you get funded, and if you don't get anything. Right. Now, for Indiegogo, if we don't make our goal, they'll take more of a percentage of what we raised, and that's sort of an incentive for them, for that option because only they offer it. But yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about the Indiegogo, but I do want to look more into backing those types of projects. And I got your emails about you guys got on the front page of Indiegogo. That's great.
Yeah. They chose us out of all the campaigns, one of 8 campaigns to advertise on their front page in all the categories. And we made campaign of the day yesterday, which means they tweet about us and they make Facebook posts about us in their feed.
Oh, that's awesome. I also wanted to mention one of the perks is the still photographs that you're offering. Yeah. Those look fantastic too.
Thank you. Yeah, we worked with a really awesome photographer named Rins Van Brugge, and he really dug the project. We went to his place, took some photographs, and then he gave us some really amazing raw photographs that we were able to edit, and it was he's a really talented guy.
Well, best of luck with the film. Make sure you keep us posted on the status, but we'll be watching. So
sure. Thank you for everything. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the spot. I really appreciate it. It's gonna help a lot.
Best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again, Robert. The project is Like Me, and we'll have a link to the Indiegogo page in the show notes as well as on the Kickstart Sunday section of the site. Moving on, Quentin Dupieux. After I saw Rubber back in, when did that come out? 2010, I think. I knew this would be somebody to watch, and we were lucky enough to have a quick chat with him about his new movie, Wrong, which is currently playing on demand and hitting theaters this Friday. So let's take a listen. First off, why don't you tell us a little bit about the film Wrong, which is it's coming out in theaters on Friday and it's playing on demand right now. Maybe just give us a brief overview of the film.
A brief overview, that's tough, but let's say to me it's like a very pleasant nightmare. That's how I see the movie, and that's what I was trying to do, and I think that's the main quality of this movie. It's like being in a nightmare, but a pleasant one.
Now, what I'm wondering is, did you draw in any kind of inspiration from any other kind of like absurdist films, or did you just kind of bang it out and just kind of come up with your own unique ideas for the script?
I mean, I'm just influenced by everything, not just like surrealist stuff, but also mainstream stuff, also life. Like life contains a lot of absurdity too. So if you know how to look at it, like you can see absurdity in life, and so let's say I'm more inspired about general things. I'm not trying to be influenced by other movies or other art forms. I think I'm just influenced by everything.
Now, you've had a pretty great musical career as well. Have you been finding your muse in film over music, or do you kind of like them both, doing them both equally?
It's let's say it's the same part of my brain working. I love to do movies. I love to make music too. It's just making a movie, of course, is more complex, and sometimes it contains music. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's of course very exciting for me to make movies because I'm also a musician. So then I can use my music skills sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's a very different process, but I really enjoy both, and I still like to make electronic music. I still like to be a DJ sometimes. But yes, when I work on a movie, it's obviously a bigger job.
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to know just a little bit about your writing process, Quentin. I imagine that you're either sitting down writing and making yourself laugh like crazy, or that you're very serious and studious about writing a script. So I was wondering if you have any kind of techniques, in your writing process, like if you play surrealist games or if you just observe things. How does it work for you?
I said it many times, my best ideas comes from nowhere. I found my my best stupid ideas when I'm half asleep. So when I'm not thinking too much, then you have to build something around this type of ideas. So it's a very simple process. Basically, I got inspired by visual visual ideas most of the time. So it's like lying down and trying to not think at all, just let it go. And then I have to put it on paper and make it, and make it into a movie. So I guess I have a very basic process, but my quality is to trust my instincts. I don't want to trust my brain. I don't want to try to be clever. I don't want to try to be, too smart about my script. I'm just trying to get something from a secret place. I like to find ideas when I'm half asleep.
It's a great place to work on.
Which is hard because to stay half asleep is very hard. Because then you fall asleep.
Or you wake up and your brain starts thinking.
Yeah, but this magic thing that we call dreams. I'm really into that. I love the feeling when you dream of something and then you wake up and you still think you're in the dream and you still have some, I don't know, you know what I mean. I love it. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do with my movies. Basically, I don't want the audience to feel a human brain writing a script. I just want to create some magic, and not just a script or a movie.
Right.
Are you currently filming Wrong Cops right now? Is that you're still working on that one?
I'm editing. I'm at the end of the editing process.
Okay.
Wrong Cops has been shot in May or June, I think, and I'm finishing the editing right now because we shot another movie after Wrong Cops, so I've been busy shooting, and I think I started editing Wrong Cops in September, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm finishing it right now. It's really good.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited to see it. I did see the teaser that got posted for that, and I'm insanely excited to see that one as well. Can you talk a little bit about your next project?
The other one I've shot?
Yes.
The other one is called Reality. I mean, we want to try to keep the French title, which is Réalité, which means reality for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is my oldest project. Like I've been writing it like for many years, and to me it was like a dead script because it was too old, and suddenly a very a very famous and very like incredible actor from France decided to accepted like the script, and he accepted to do the lead part. And because I love this guy and I've been a fan of him since I'm 15, I decided to do it for him. But that was a project that I didn't want to shoot anymore.
Oh, it just kind of came back.
Reality is more about the brain, and it's more about like the creation. It's basically about the brain of the artist.
Can you tell us who the actor is by chance?
It's Alain Chabat.
Oh, great.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
He's like, he's the best for us. Like, he's the only cool mainstream guy in France because he was like in the late 80s. He was like doing the best stuff for TV.
Right.
So yeah, I really love him, and he's the sweetest guy on earth. And it was like amazing to shoot with him for me. And we also have, in reality, Eric Wareheim again.
He's great.
Also John Heder.
Oh yeah, Eric Wareheim was also on Wrong Cops too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're very good friends now.
Oh well, that is extremely exciting news to hear, especially for fans of Tim and Eric as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too. No, Eric is like amazing in both movies. Like in Wrong Cops, he's really like really funny, and in reality, he plays this weird guy who has some very weird dreams, and he's the best. I love him.
That's great. Well, we don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for speaking with us. And make sure you check out Wrong. It's on video on demand right now, and it hits theaters this Friday.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's talk about Spring Breakers. This is written and directed by Harmony Korine, stars Vanessa Hudgens, Selena Gomez, Ashley Benson, James Franco, and Rachel Korine is also in it. Gucci Mane plays a role. Now, Kevin and I have discussed our love for this movie previously when we saw it at South by. So one of the main reasons I wanted to get you on, Gina, was to get your opinion on Spring Breakers. So we'll start with you.
Okay, well, Spring Breakers. Oh, Spring Breakers. I woke up actually this morning with James Franco's voice in my head going, Spring Break, forever. Mm-hmm. That was pretty creepy, but other than that, I'm annoyed by the film. I did have the experience where I was like, really? I just feel like I watched the longest music video I've ever had to sit through. I felt like the film took a really long time to get into its subject, that it didn't really take off at any point, and that the visual obsession took over any kind of content that, or lack of content even, or void of content like Harmony Korine would probably enjoy. Of the film. And for me, the visuals, it's kind of a nothing new scenario where this kind of visual is a repetitive, occurred already. I'm not that interested in seeing the visual, to be honest. So I kind of was grasping for something to hold on to in this film. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I love the visuals. I thought that I will agree that I don't think it's necessarily anything new. I don't think that they brought anything new to the table, but I thought everything about this movie fit. It all fit into place. The music, the bright colors, the slow motion debauchery that just took place throughout this movie. I thought that it just all fit. It all felt like you were gazing into that world, and I thought that it was great as far as visual, like the aesthetics of it. Kevin?
Yeah, I enjoyed the visuals as well. I love the cinematography and the color palette, the neon colored nightmare. Really, it's just
Yeah,
fantastic.
and specifically, there were certain scenes that I thought the cinematography was pretty awesome. Particularly the robbery at the beginning of the film, with the camera staying in the car and kind of following the action that was happening inside the building, inside the diner.
You on that.
Yeah, we're
That
always suckers about that.
What I really liked the cinematography basically until Selena Gomez's character leaves the film, save for maybe two shots in the end of the film. And then everything kind of started to feel for me as though he was really relying on just maybe 5 days of shooting and recycling these images over and over and over again. So instead of it, I'm sure the intended effect is kind of like a hypnotism in a way, but I didn't tap into that. I just felt kind of beat over the head with the same images and the same camera angles and the same
a lot of the same voiceover too.
A lot of the same voiceover, yeah, really redundant with the voiceover, which I understand. For him, he's been talking about the film as though it's a pop poem kind of to this world, and that it's a poetic expression for him, but for me, it was really flat, unfortunately. I wish that there was something that I was disturbed by deeply, or, just something, some kind of reaction. But I really left feeling like, man, I just watched a really long MTV movie. Which is interesting because I don't think that, Harmony Korine would be excited if that was the response to his film. I think he likes having, the trophy for being this kind of disturbing, nuanced filmmaker. And I appreciate his films, but this one's just flat for me.
Kevin?
I can see that. I can see people not liking it or thinking that it's flat. And I mean, I didn't get a chance, like you said, you got to see it again, and I didn't get that chance to see it again. So I'm not sure if it would hold up. You know what I mean? If I would be as excited as I was the first time I saw. And also, I'm wondering how much of a part the whole South by Southwest feeling had to me enjoying Spring Breakers. You know what I mean? Having Harmony Korine and James Franco and everything in the crowd watching the film with me, and all the excitement and all that, and then juxtapose that with watching it in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, with probably, if I went to the theater, there'd probably be, I would guess, maybe 4 or 5 people
in
the theater.
It certainly, that certainly plays a part, because when I saw it, it was maybe a half full theater and it was just dead silent. Nobody understood what they were watching. I heard one dude behind me say that it was the worst movie he's ever seen when we were leaving. And I think the environment plays a big part in it.
People laughed a lot in the theater that I was in, and there might have only been 25 people in the theater. But
there was no laughing in my theater. I was laughing, but no one else was. My girlfriend was laughing, but nobody else was.
There are these shots of the girls returning on the buses, like his wife, or Harmony Korine's wife. Oh man, her name escapes me right now. What's the actress's name?
Rachel Korine.
Rachel, thank you. When she's on the bus, there's, I think, this really nice unintended moment where she actually looks like an injured child. Her character has been so strong throughout the film as being kind of the funky one, the one who's really willing to get down and dirty and then also draw her own boundaries. The other two blonde characters seem really like their one character, which I thought was also interesting. But I really like this shot when she's leaving on the bus and this portrait shot of her, but I just don't think it was intended, which is funny. Selena Gomez, it's really easy to see her as a kid, obviously, and I'm sure her role in this film was maybe even about trying to break that in her career a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if it worked for her, like maybe just the idea of being in a Korean film would be effective, to replace this "you're a child" stigma in your career. But I think she left this film looking even more naive and vulnerable, than she did going into it.
Well, plus she was only in about half of the film before, like you said, really the movie's kind of divided into two parts. There's the spring break element, and then there's a whole other element that happens at about the halfway point.
Right.
Which
She's
I didn't...
like a moral character, your morals,
Yeah.
and then that disappears.
But I don't know if I would like it less if she decided to stay with it, because that seemed kind of uncharacteristic of her to begin with. But I don't know.
Oh, I think it might have been nice. It could have been nice. It might have worked. Who knows? We don't know. But to have a character that can be horrified, in that kind of wave of everything's in a way disgusting, violent, or fashion, the fashion of violence in a way.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one character there to witness and to not partake in that, it just sets up that contrast in a really nice way. So maybe that's why I liked the first part of the film, because I felt there was this conflict involved. And then once the conflict disappeared, I was like, music video.
Yeah. And I think that it's interesting to see how the movie kind of changes, because even though the first part it's a bunch of white girls partying with a bunch of white people, and then like once that dynamic kind of changes, it's like they're still doing the same stuff, but at the same time, like they kind of feel like it's wrong. Like Selena Gomez she's concerned at that point once they get out of the white people party. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. There's a power dynamic shift out in one area of the film. They're with not only white female male, but also the same age group and the same background, same purpose. So her character can kind of understand this is what we're all here for, and there's no danger. But once you have a guy who buys your freedom and you don't know what that means, and he's touching you, it's kind of freaky. And I think she did a really great job in that role. I wasn't sure if I really felt the other girls were believable in their pursuit of violence. It just really felt like the fashion of it, really, like the fashion of violence, the fashion of what it looks like when girls carry guns and have bikinis on versus what their characters are feeling or doing, which is part of Korine's catalog. He's into the fashion of how this stuff looks, and that does make for really interesting images.
And I think that also a lot of his characters in a lot of his movies are just pretty soulless, despicable people, and I think that kind of rears its head in this movie as well. While I think that a lot of the characters in this movie seem more real than in some of his previous films, there's still that kind of ugly element to it, and that's kind of what he revels in, is just showing off the ugliness of the world.
Sure, totally. In a well choreographed kind of way. Oh yeah,
Kevin?
No, I was gonna say that it interesting how Gina points out the whole fashion of everything is, the last couple of short films that he's done before this movie have all been for like fashion brands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they are odd as shit. I don't know. I remember I tried showing you one, Adam, of the snowball
I watched the
short.
one. Yeah.
The snowballs. Oh my goodness.
That was definitely odd.
What are the companies that he's working for when he does those?
Snowballs was for Proenza Scholler.
Uh-huh.
I think that's how you pronounce that. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was mostly for them. I don't know if there's any others or not.
I think it's also interesting if you watch all of his interviews, for example, with David Letterman, on how he's a natural ADD comedian.
Mm-hmm.
With his delivery and he's talking about in a lot of ways what he's saying is true on these shows, but it just comes off as absolute comic stand-up relief. Like it doesn't look like he's giving an interview in a lot of ways, which is interesting because it seems like he's afraid of getting below a certain level as far as depth in a subject is concerned, because he's really interested, I think, in just seeing how people react, and that reaction is a really important aspect of his person and his filmmaking.
I think, yeah, no matter how you look at it, I think that his stuff is interesting, and can spark a lot of conversations because he's one of these guys that kind of blurs the line between trash and art, and you never really know, because a lot of times I always wonder if some of these guys are just trying to pull a fast one over on you, especially with like trash humpers. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's about, the fun of doing it more maybe than anything else, right? Like there's that aspect for his filmmaking too, but you're right. He's the kind of filmmaker that people are going to consistently talk about anytime he makes something, and that's good stuff in a way.
Now, looking at his filmography, Kevin, you haven't seen Trash Humpers. Gina, has there been anything that he's made? Mr. Lonely, you said you haven't seen. Has there been anything else that you haven't seen of his?
Let's see. Mr. Lonely, I haven't seen. I've seen Trash Humpers, but I haven't sat through it once start to finish. So I've kind of broken it up in segments as it goes. So I could say, for a fact that I actually haven't really sat down and seen Trash Humpers, even though I've seen all of its parts.
You know what it's what it's all about.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if there's some weird, thing to experience by sitting and just being hammered over the head for the entire time with that. But yeah, Mr. Lonely. What about you? You've seen everything?
I have not seen Mr. Lonely, but I've seen everything else. So what I'm wondering is where Spring Breakers lands on the Harmony Korine scale for you guys.
Kevin, you go first.
I think it's his best work. It's his most, even though it's sort of odd to say, it's his most mature work. I think, technically speaking, of putting everything together compared to his other films. The only thing that I think comes close to Spring Breakers would be Julian Donkey Boy.
And see, I did not.
See, yeah, that's where me and you are different. You hate Julian Donkey Boy. I loved it. You liked Gummo, and I think Gummo's terrible.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. I would agree, though. Spring Breakers probably does sit on top of my list as well for him.
See, I'm going to contrast you guys and say that it feels like his laziest work to me.
Now, see, I can see that. I can see how you would feel that way, because going back to, like we were talking about before, he does recycle a lot of the same stuff in this movie. It's a lot of the same footage, a lot of the same voiceover over and over.
But do you think that he's maybe doing that in a way of mirroring Spring Break itself? How it's just the same shit over and over again?
Yeah, I'm sure there's an aspect of that going on, but I think you could say that about any of the culture that he's dealing with. It is the same shit, going on and on and on, like Trash Humpers, for example. Mm-hmm. But this is the piece where it's the least interesting to experience on a art level, on a trash level. It's so gray area for me as far as where it is between those two places, that I feel like he honestly got a $5 million budget, spent some of it, kept some of it, spent some time doing it. I feel like it's a lazier film than his other works. It's just the experience I have watching it from a filmmaking perspective. But I understand totally how, maybe in his mind or an audience that is enjoying this film, that they're seeing that as an accurate statement about this culture.
And I would also like to add that I don't know if I said this before when we talked about it before, but I feel like this is kind of an odd movie to try to categorize. I think that it's a movie that people can like for completely different reasons. Like, Kevin and I like this movie for one reason, and then Ryan, for instance, likes it for a completely different reason. He likes it because it's about spring break and it has violence and boobs in it. And I think that's what kind of perplexes me the most about this movie is, like, it got a wide release.
Wait a second. Now, Ryan did specify when we got out of the movie that he didn't like it because of the nudity.
But I love the fact that he had to point that out to begin with. Like, oh, I love that movie, but it wasn't for the nudity.
Oh, I see. I enjoyed the nudity. I think it's an essential part of the topic. Like, it's not a thing you could shield if you were going to delve into spring break issues, and you shouldn't, because it's an essential part of the culture. I don't find it disgusting or overbearing, like all the twerking going on in this film. It's not a problem for me. Like, none of that is the problem. It's just the actual repetitive use of the same shot of the same twerk that bothers me.
Now, because me and Adam have talked about this numerous times on the podcast. How much of a role does story play for you in enjoying a film?
It depends on the film. I mean, for example, we just interviewed the Quentin Dupieux. I can never say his last name. Pardon, Dupieux. We just interviewed him on Wrong, and I love that film. And there is a story resolve, but I think the story resolve is a weak point in the film itself. I think all the absurdity is what's great. So story doesn't play a really essential part for me. I'm attracted equally to surrealist and abstract films as I am to really hardcore narratives. Mm-hmm. So it's, for me, it's like assessing what the filmmaker's, interested in, and whether or not I'm experiencing it based on what's on the screen and I'm an open person when I go to the film theaters around the town. It could be.
Let me ask you this, Gina. Have you seen The Turin Horse?
Torn Horse.
I haven't seen it.
I think that's the one that you can judge everything on, because
I think that's probably the film that started the entire discussion.
Yeah, because
what is this film?
Oh God,
it's a Bellatar movie, black and white. It's probably 2.5 hours long, something like that. It takes the place of the story of Nietzsche, how he collapsed in sight of a horse being whipped, and then it picks up the story from the perspective of that horse after that day. So pretty much nothing happens for 2.5 hours. So there's really no story whatsoever.
That seems like I might really enjoy that film.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
It depends on what's on the screen.
And it had the exact opposite effect on me. While I do recognize that a movie like that looked good, the utter lack of any kind of story whatsoever. I mean, like, it's a horse walking for like 20 minutes, and then
a horse walking beautifully, damn it.
And then you have two old people eating potatoes
with their hands. Don't forget, they do it with their hands, and they do it like they've never eaten potatoes.
And then it's like this static shot of a woman staring out of a window into a plane of nothingness for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Cannot deal.
It depends on the mood sometimes, like sometimes you're just not in the place to see a challenging film, if that's how you felt about it. Like a challenging film, it's not fun to be in this theater right now.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm also into the films of James Benning, for example, which are all just very long, still shots. And I do enjoy if there's a certain structure a lot of the time, unless it's purely visual. But a lot of times a purely visual film has some sort of a structure. It's a film processed, hand processed technique or all sorts of stuff. But Benning's last film, 20 Cigarettes, for example, it's a film where he has 20 friends in front of the camera for the length of a cigarette, and they smoke the cigarette, and then it's on to the next guy until you've smoked a pack of cigarettes. It's 20 cigarettes because there's 20 cigarettes in a pack. And what happens is you start to experience the humanity of each character at some point once they get, I don't know if comfortable in front of the camera is the right word, but maybe forget that the camera is there. And it's really a beautiful film, but there's no narrative there. There's no story there.
Do they talk?
No, it's silent. There's no
silence.
talking. It's just it's a portrait film. They're smoking cigarettes. That's it.
It's right up Adam's alley.
That's right. Well, I need a little bit. I need a little bit to hold on to, like Beyond the Black Rainbow, for instance. Beautiful film. Loved the music, the visuals, but the narrative was just lacking so much.
See, I don't understand that. I don't care about narrative at all. I mean, if I want narrative, I read a book.
Yeah, but when we reviewed Beyond the Black Rainbow, you agreed.
I agreed a little bit that he could make something truly amazing if he had a little bit of a narrative there, to bring everything together. But I definitely love it for the fact of just the look of it.
So Kevin, for you, it sounds like a film is an object to you in its own right.
For the
it's
most
not a
part,
story necessarily.
I don't need a story.
Yeah.
I don't need to follow a narrative. I mean, it doesn't hurt certain films. You usually know going into a film if it's going to be a straight narrative or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and base it on that.
Well, I try to take things on a case-by-case basis. I don't want to put out some sort of blanket statement that says I need a story in a movie, because I'm sure that I can find examples of plenty of films that I loved that didn't have, any kind of structured narrative.
But I think I notice more cinematography-wise while I'm watching a film. It takes more precedent over anything else.
Huh. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, again, Beyond the Black Rainbow. I probably wouldn't have given that the time of day if it didn't look so good and sound so good. And the fact that they came out with a copy of it on VHS, give me a break. That is a selling point right there.
Back to Spring Breakers, I think part of, again, what bothers me is that there's not a clarity over whether I'm watching it for the narrative impulse or for the topical impulse of just the trash of Spring Break, the audacity of Spring Break in the images themselves. And it seems to me like he doesn't really know either. That's the part that really gets me, is that the filmmaker doesn't really know which is more important to him, or if he's, not that one has to be more important over the other, if he's really showing these two things because he cares about these two things equally. I just don't get that feeling. I get the feeling that some of it's filler and some of it's really fun to make. Just having the girls in the ski masks with the guns dancing around a piano with James Franco and his crazy grill.
Yes.
It's awesome as a scene, but in the context of the film, a lot is missing for me to kind of drive it home as wow, this guy's a genius.
For me, that scene automatically got extra credit points because of the sort of the tip of the cap to Marcel Dezama.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene. It really is, especially with Franco's. I mean, I like, for example, there's some people might see the fake piano playing. So fake, obviously. But I kind of love it. I kind of love that we're not trying to make it look like James Franco can play the piano.
Right.
So it's like a hit and miss all over the film for me. And I just walked out of the theater going, ugh. And I was sad because I was really excited to see it, to be honest. I thought it was going to be, I didn't have a high expectation because I had seen Trash Humpers, for example, and I know how I felt about that film. But I was still disappointed leaving the theater because I really wanted to like this film. I did.
How do you think the mainstream audiences would react to this movie?
I think it's challenging. Their face melts. I think it's challenging for them. But I think Zero Dark 30 was also a challenging film for a large audience, so it's a different kind of challenging. I think a lot of people leave the theater and forget about it pretty quickly and not think about it.
So so you think that it would be met with the same kind of reaction as, for instance, what was that? The Real Cancun, or one of those other. There was a Spring Break documentary that came out back in 2006, I want to say, and I'm pretty sure it was called The Real Cancun. So you think it'd be regarded on the same level as something like that, where
No, I don't think it would be that. I think those are different places. I think there's an expectation for people to enjoy the film because it's Harmony Korine. But
on a mainstream level, though.
Yeah,
because people probably don't know who Harmony Korine is, the general movie going audience.
I think it would surprise you how people actually do. Gummo was in Blockbuster when Blockbuster existed. The movie rental store.
Oh yeah, we rented it from there. I remember.
I think we skipped school and watched Gummo.
See, that's the kind of experience. Depending on the generation that you come from, I think you could potentially have a lot of experience with Harmony Korine, and still leave this theater forgetting about this film.
Well, I know from Mountjoy area, York, and everything. Whenever I talk about films, no one has any idea what the hell I'm talking about. Like, no, I don't think I've ever met anyone that knows who the hell Harmony Korine is besides my wife and Adam.
Yeah. Well, Ryan knows who he is now, so.
Ryan knows now. And I know that there's people out there. I never run across them.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Pennsylvania. I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and believe it or not, that's a pretty big film town. So maybe I just have a different experience. The program, like a university program there, they've got a film festival. It's an underground experimental film town. The American Movie. Have you seen the movie?
We don't have any of that.
Oh yeah.
That's a Milwaukee film, and those guys, like, I know them. I worked in a fashion boutique when I was 20, and I forget his name off the top of my head, but the main character who's making the film in American Movie came in thinking that he was going to do a fashion styling, like, photo kind of company, and he just talked me into a downward spiral about living with your mom in Milwaukee and how horrible it is.
Oh, I love that movie.
People that people have, like, those characters, people in Milwaukee have interactions with them. So just based on that kind of experience, maybe the culture of people I'm thinking about is different. Maybe it's not mainstream, and I think it is. I don't know.
Well, be that as it may, I feel that most people that see this movie will take it for face value and look at James Franco and Selena Gomez and be disappointed when it's not the movie that they expect to see.
But it's actually James Franco's best work because, once again, he's terrible.
He is terrible, isn't he? He's so terrible in this. He's so terrible. But you're right, it's good that he's terrible.
He's a good terrible this time around.
It's good kind terrible. Of Tom Cruise being a total egomaniac in Magnolia. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you have it. Kevin and I, pretty high marks for Spring Breakers. Gina, not so much. Lukewarm.
Lukewarm at best.
It is playing probably in theaters near you. I think it's playing in most places in the country right now.
It is playing in York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Now.
Check it out. Check it out one way or the other. I'd say it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
You would say it is worth seeing, Gina?
Yeah, I do. I mean, in a film, is it worth seeing as a piece of entertainment? Not so much. Is it worth seeing as watching a director's body of work and kind of understanding the director? Sure.
I would take your grandparents.
Yes.
Take your grandparents, especially
take your grandparents. Yep. Take grandma. She's going to love it.
My girlfriend said that this should be required viewing for any parent that has a teenage child.
Oh, damn.
All right. Any final thoughts, Spring Breakers?
Spring break forever. It's
Kevin?
gonna be had forever.
Look at all my shit. I think that's the one thing.
Look at all my shit.
Is that even
tannin oil?
Look how much dark tannin oils.
Okay, come on, that was a fun.
That was the one thing that I want to point out is even people that hated this film and people that loved it, everyone can agree that monologue is without a doubt the best. And it's going to be extremely memorable, and people are going to be talking about it for a long time.
Oh, I think it's going to be probably one of the most quoted movies of the year.
They got shorts in every color. You fucking kidding me? Who does not want that lifestyle?
Who does not want
I have shorts in 3 colors max. That's it. I feel like a loser.
You should.
God.
Okay, let's move on. Talk about some of our predictions. Last week, we said The Croods. Kevin, you predicted a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. I predicted 46%.
That was correct.
Actual 64% on that.
That's what I thought.
Admission, you said 52%. I said 56%. Actual 44% on Admission. Ouch. No love for the Rudd this week.
Ryan almost touched Rudd.
Yes, he did.
Let's remember that.
Can I touch him? Would he ask? He asked if it would be okay to touch him.
Yeah, he said, is it okay if I touch them?
Oh my God.
It's a bizarre question.
I wish he would have just
touched him.
Yeah.
Just stroked his hair throughout the entire screening.
That would have been great. For those of you that don't know, on that inside joke, Ryan sat directly behind Paul Rudd at a screening of Prince Avalanche.
And he wanted desperately to touch him.
And he wanted to touch him very badly for some reason. Then we have Olympus Has Fallen. You said 40, I said 42, actual 51.
Oh, come on.
Die Hard in the White House.
Die Hard in the White House. I didn't know that was Fuqua.
Yeah.
God, he's a terrible director.
He's not that good.
No.
Then again, I don't know. I haven't seen Olympus Has Fallen, so it might be good. I think we gave it a 6 out of 10 on the site.
Was that Ernie?
Yes.
Ernie on
Sounds
top
generous.
of
It does sound
It does.
generous. I don't know. Then we
Ernie
have...
doesn't like to be harsh.
So next week, got a bunch of stuff coming out next week. We have Welcome to the Punch.
Ooh.
This is that almost completely unknown action film with, who's in it? I already forgot. Damn it. I know who's in it.
No, you don't.
James
McAvoy.
Yes, James McAvoy. What do you think about this one?
I honestly thought that this was a Statham movie at first.
Looks like a Statham movie by the cover.
I know. So I'm going to say it's going to be awful. 56.
56? Okay. I'm going to guess 50? What do you
Can I
think?
throw out a number just for fun?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys 41.
41?
Not
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
Then we have G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Oh,
Finally.
yeah.
Finally, I know everybody's excited about this one.
About time we get some real American heroes.
I'm going to say, oh God, 24? That's probably generous. What are you thinking, Kevin?
100.
That's it, you're locked in. I'm marking you.
100. Kidding me? We're going to retaliate real American hero style. I'm sticking with 100.
You're going with 100? Okay. Well, if it's the funny thing, well, no, I'll probably still be closer. Gina, what do you think? G.I. Joe Retaliation, you excited for this one?
I've only been waiting for it since I was 6 years old, so I'm going to give it a 28.
28? All right.
28.
Who knows? We might be surprised. The Host. This is the one that's based on that. What's her name? Stephanie Meyer? Is that her name? Girl, the woman that wrote Twilight?
I do not know these things.
Pretty sure it's Stephanie.
I'm out of the loop with the Twilight business.
I'm pretty sure it's Stephanie Meyer, just because I saw a trailer for this yesterday and it said her name.
Sounds right.
I'm not too into this one. Kevin, what are you thinking on this?
That's surprising.
Yeah.
You're not excited for the Host?
Normally I love the young adult books that are adapted into movies.
I know. The Host. Like a 46.
All right, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say 50. What do you think on that, Gina?
I'm going to round you guys out and say 48.
48. Okay.
Yeah. I'm in it to win it, guys.
You probably will.
More than likely.
Then we have Temptation. This is a Tyler Perry movie, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Still, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. We
Spring
talked about it.
Breakers Temptation.
That was Spring Breakers trailer and then the Temptation trailer followed immediately after. That's a double bill I want to see.
Heck yeah.
Someone needs to make that happen.
Spring Breakers followed by Temptation. Sign me up. Although I don't think Medea's in that one, so that's...
I wish Medea was in both.
I just wish Medea was in everything, every movie.
Oh my
I want to see Tyler Perry's Medea's Amour. That's what I want to see.
You want to see what did you just say? Tyler Perry's Amour?
Yeah.
Medea in Amour. I'm down for that.
And Tyler Perry's the husband and the wife.
Ooh.
Oh, in drag and out of drag.
Yep.
Like it. But I would like it to be more that it's in drag and then still in drag, but then male makeup over top of it.
Oh, wow.
And also, only if the
way.
piano shots are totally faked. I need the piano shots to be really, really, really false.
And instead of
Obviously.
classical music, they sing Britney Spears.
Yeah, sure. Or
There we
even
go.
better, like Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, November Rain. I would like that.
What do you think on Temptation, Kevin?
Temptation. Like a 6.
I want to say 15. What are you thinking, Gina?
Oh, I was gonna say 16.
Oh.
Can't believe I'm a high roller on that.
Well, who knows? And then we have The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, my
Pretty
second
excited.
favorite movie of the year.
Pretty excited for this one. So I'm gonna reach high. I'm gonna say like 86.
Reaching up there. I'm gonna go 82.
Gina, what do you think on that one?
I think it looks good, but I'm gonna give it like a 68.
Okay. I love the one poster. Have you guys seen the one poster with his face all jacked up?
No, I haven't seen
think
it.
so.
It's awesome looking. Look it up, Kevin.
I'm going.
All right, moving on to DVD and Blu Ray releases. This is for Tuesday, March 26, 2013. We have the comedy, a little bit of the old Tim and Eric action, mostly
Oh.
Tim.
Most of the time. Smattering of Eric.
Smattering of Eric and the guy from LCD Sound System.
That's right.
I was a big fan of this movie. I actually liked it a lot. Have you checked this one out, Gina?
No, I haven't.
I'd recommend it. It's I know that we've talked about it several times on the show, but it shouldn't be watched as a comedy. Like, you shouldn't think like this is going to be a laugh riot.
Okay.
It's not going to be a laugh.
No, it's going to be it's very dark. And then we have The Collection. This is a horror movie. I checked this out in the theater. I actually liked it. I liked the first one quite a bit too, so I'd probably recommend that as like a rental or like a Netflix thing.
Ooh.
Nothing. It wasn't anything special, but last year's horror movies were pretty shitty all around, so this was one of the better ones. Then we have Easy Money, aka Snabacash.
Gosh.
I like Joel Kinnaman a lot, so I would recommend this one. I saw this a while back.
I was going to
pretty
say,
good.
you saw this a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I hardly even remember it now, except it's kind of like one of those Guy Ritchie-esque movies.
Oh.
But, I mean, it's not like a rip-off or anything. It's just a good crime flick. Killing Them Softly? What say you to that, Kevin? Is that a buy?
That's an ignore. Ignore that it ever happened and that it exists.
Ignore.
Yeah,
Act like it never happened.
I was not too thrilled with Killing Them Softly either.
I know. Did you know that we were in a financial crisis? I had
Well, you
no
know
idea.
what? I wasn't sure about it.
I know.
I kind of got the gist from this movie that we might be.
They drop a couple hints here and there.
Couple hints. Yeah, more like they punch you in the face with it every 10 seconds.
Yeah, everyone listens to NPR the entire time and watches CNN while they're doing backroom gambling. Are you serious?
Yeah, I think that we were talking about that when we did our review, and we were like, do we really think that these like low-level drug-addicted thugs are going to be listening to Fresh Air?
But another thing that I hated more than anything was Ben Mendelsohn's character when he shoots up heroin, and they play the Velvet Underground song "Heroin" as he does it.
Oh, there's a lot of that
are you
happens
kidding
in
me?
that movie.
Jesus.
Are you serious?
I didn't. That whole scene I thought was completely unnecessary and ridiculous, and it lasted way too long.
Plus, that one hit scene lasted like an hour and 40 minutes in slow-mo, I think. Could be wrong on the time. Don't quote.
Yeah, that
I
one
think it
was.
was about an hour 40.
At least it looked pretty.
I haven't seen it, but I'm looking at the poster, and I'm just wondering if Brad Pitt actually has prosthetic eyebrows in this film.
He probably. I don't even remember.
Probably does.
Prosthetic eyebrows. He's just married to a specific fold in his brow. Look like it would get painful after a while.
I think that this is a hard movie to recommend. I would not recommend it. And like Gandolfini's character, the completely pointless to be in the movie at all. I'm just remembering everything I hated about that movie all of a sudden. Speaking of hating, parental guidance. Billy Crystal coming back in a big way. I'm probably gonna say skip that one. I think that got like completely abysmal reviews. We didn't even cover it on the site. So
Crystal.
And then we have A Royal Affair. Has anyone seen this or have any interest in this?
Is this a period piece?
Yeah, I know that you say that you hate period pieces, and yet you see every single one of them.
I don't say every. What?
You see a lot of them.
Do I?
Yeah. You said you were going to see Anna Karenina.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
You saw Jane Eyre. You saw...
Jane Eyre.
See, I habitually skip these films.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's Kubrick, I'm pretty much not going to watch a period piece. Though I did see Marie Antoinette because it was Coppola, and I wanted to see what that was going to be like. But, I mean, other than that, I habitually skip these films. I get lost in the costumes, like drowning, lost in the costumes.
Yeah, I have not seen that one. I haven't seen Marie Antoinette, but I did see Jane Eyre, and I fell asleep in the theater. What was the other one, Kevin? There was one that came out just Wuthering Heights.
Oh, yeah. Wuthering Heights. Well, that's a huge Andrew Arnold fan. That's the only reason I really saw that.
That one...
Plus, I reviewed it for the site, so you're welcome.
Wow. Are you also going to review Scary Movie 5?
No. Hopefully, no. Now that you do point out, I have seen a lot of period pieces.
Yeah. You hate them, but you see a lot of them.
The fuck is wrong with me? Why do I watch things I don't like? Damn it.
Well, at least you're not like watching all kinds of musicals.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely don't do that.
You didn't go see Les Mis, for example.
Yeah, I did. Damn it.
I did too.
I didn't. I would, though. I would go see Les Mis because I am interested in how the characters, the actual actors have to sing the tracks.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work. It probably would have been better if they just recorded them separately. All right. I think that does it. For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. We want to hear your feedback. Send us an email, feedback@filmpulse.net, or call our voicemail line at 850-391-6071. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Gina.
And we will see you on Wednesday for Ryan Watches a Movie.
Now, Gina, you had to say, see you later.
No.
See you later.